Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 tips on how you can make time for writing. But before we get started, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. I have a new upload schedule. I am here every Tuesday and every Thursday, and I make videos on writing and mindful habits that will change your life. So a lot of things have changed for me over the last 10 years when I first started writing. I went from having a full-time job where I used to commute for an hour each time to then working from home for about 6 months, and then finally to a full-time writer where I just have my writing to worry about. And each thing came with its own challenges. Each stage of those things came with different challenges, and this is where I'm coming from today, because I know that a lot of you are stay-at-home moms, or you also have full-time jobs, or you're trying to balance whatever it is that you're doing. I know that sometimes writing is difficult when you're trying to make time for it, but let me tell you, it's also difficult when you have all the time in the world, because you still, no matter what, you have to decide to do it. So with that said, let's get into my first tip. First of all, I recommend that you have a schedule or a routine for your writing time. But what I mean specifically about this is, like, for me, I know that I am not going to sit down to write before my house is tidied up. I need to have no dishes in the sink. My bed needs to be done. I need to have worked out already. So I have a morning routine, which reminds me, I'm thinking of doing a new spring morning routine for you guys. So if that's something you guys would like to see, leave it in the comments below. Some things have changed. I used to babysit my grandson, but now I'm no longer doing it because my daughter's no longer working. So my days have drastically changed. So with it came a new routine. So let me know if that's something you guys would like to see. But anyways, so what I'm thinking about this schedule routine thing, set aside all the things that you need to do that are going to come up, you know, when you sit down to write. Because I know that when I sit down to write, in my mind, if I haven't done the dishes, I'm thinking I gotta go do the dishes. If I haven't worked out, I'm thinking I gotta go work out. So get all those things out of the way, and then you will be able to sit down and have time for writing without any other distractions or feeling guilty about any other things that you need to do that you haven't done. Tip number 2 is to get out of the house. Sometimes it's hard to resist that urge to turn the TV on and binge watch things on Netflix. I know how it is. I am home all day long, and I have to make it a point to not turn that TV on until I decide to, for it's either in the late afternoon, like starting 5 and on, or if my husband and I decide to sit down for lunch, we make it a point only for, a half hour to an hour if we turn on the TV, because we know what happens. When you are working from home, my husband also is home all day long. He's a musician, and he has gigs, but he usually works at night and on the weekends. So our days are pretty much ours all day long. So if we don't get control of our time, we could potentially not do a thing and spend all our time watching TV. So that's why sometimes if you want to make time for writing, then schedule a little time outside, away from the TV or that urge to turn it on. This could simply be sitting outside in your patio, or if you live in a community like I do, maybe go sit by the community pool and write out there. And yeah, just try to get out of the house and make sure that you do it consistently whenever you've decided that you want to write. Like if you decide, oh, I'm going to write 3 times a week, or whatever your schedule looks like, make sure that you stick to it and that you get out of the house to do that. Tip number 3 is to try a new approach. Maybe it's not that you don't have time to write, but maybe it's that you're experiencing a little bit of writer's block. So maybe you can try something new. Maybe instead of writing, you can go on Pinterest and start creating boards for your novel. It could be about your characters, it could be about the world, it could be about the setting, it could be anything, but just to take your mind off the I have to write something right now. So yeah, I love that, because I love creating different boards on Pinterest with my novels, and that always gets me excited, and especially when I create playlists. Music is like everything for me when it comes to writing. So when I do that, it starts just making those creative juices work up again, and I start writing, and I don't have to come up with excuses as to why I can't write or why I don't have the time to write, because I want to write. Tip number 4 is to actually make the time to write. You may not like this tip, because if you are a busy mom and working full-time, I know that you possibly think that you don't have the time, that you truly don't have the time. But I'm here to tell you that you do. You can wake up a half hour early, go to bed a half hour later, skip TV altogether. There's always ways. If writing is important to you, there's a way to make it happen. It just has to be a priority to you. So when the kids are napping, instead of napping with them, maybe you can, if they normally nap for a half hour and 3 hours, and you nap along with them, then maybe only nap for an hour or a half hour. The important thing is that you make the time to write if that's what's important to you. Tip number 5 when it comes to making time to write is to stay organized. Sometimes it's not that you don't have the time to write, but that you don't know where to start. So if I were you, I'd have a notebook in hand and maybe brainstorm with someone else. I know that I do that often with my daughter and my husband. They help me come up with characters. They help me come up with motives and conflicts and plot twists. They just help me get it all off my head and onto the page as just a brainstorming session. And then before you know it, I'm actually writing, because I made room for all that mess that was going on in my head that was preventing me from writing, that I had it disguised as not having enough time. So yeah, so I definitely recommend getting organized when it comes to your writing, because I know that will clear up some time for you to get to it. So there you have it, my 5 tips on how you can make time for writing. If you found these tips helpful, then make sure that you hit me a like, that you share it with your friends and family, and leave me a comment below letting me know which of these tips were your favorite. So yeah, you guys, remember to subscribe on your way out, and until next time, stay safe.